So will Biren Singh's resignation be the first but an important step in the long road to peace, or is this too little and too late? Joining me on this India Today special broadcast is Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni. General Kulkarni is former Director General of Infantry. Raghav Avasthi is a political analyst. Kamru Chaudhary represents, again, is a political analyst joining me on this broadcast. And General Kulkarni, I want to begin by asking you, sir, what do you make of this resignation? Is this too little and too late? Trust in the government, especially the Chief Minister, appears to have hit rock bottom.
Thank you, Gaurav. I think at the very outset, I must say, yes, it is definitely a good step taken for maintenance of the law and order, peace in the state. But there is no denying the fact, I would say, that whatever one might do, it will take a long time in Manipur. Even if the Chief Minister had resigned earlier, it would have made no difference. We've seen the ethnic divides are quite large, and there are international players also in this entire game. So we have got to be very careful. But yes, that he has resigned is a good step taken. Yes, it would help. And what is very important is, irrespective of whatever the other political parties might say, the territorial integrity of Manipur is a must. We have to ensure no narco-terrorism. We have to sit down, all of them, the Metis, the Kukis, the Nagas, the Zos, all of them have to sit together. It is their state. It is not a particular tribal state. It is everybody's state, and that is very, very important, because irrespective of whatever might happen in Myanmar, whatever the forces from Myanmar or from the Western forces which are playing over there and coming in from other, I don't want to name the countries which are participating in that kind of a thing over there. So it was very important from that point of view to allow Biren to continue, and for the government of India to see to it that they are able to ensure.
Let me bring in Kamru Chaudhary to respond why the opposition thinks the resignation, one, is too little too late and a desperate face saver. Kamru Chaudhary, why is this resignation not enough, or is this enough for now?
Well, Gaurav, you must understand the sequence of events over the past few days. The Congress party has been planning to bring in a no confidence motion in the assembly tomorrow.
Yes.
And secondly, most importantly, the Supreme Court has been hearing an audio tape which has been ordered for a forensic lab test over the next few weeks, I suppose. And it's almost certain that in some reports have already suggested around 93% voice matches with the Biren Singh, exactly it's matching with that. So there has to be something behind the table that is going on, wherein the Amit Shah ji thinks that Biren Singh has been directly involved in the violence that has erupted in Manipur over the last 2 years, and his inability to control it. I mean, Amit Shah ji has called the shots and said that nothing doing now. You have to resign. But I feel, as an analyst who have been observing the Northeast and being from the Northeast, I feel that is too late and too little. And why I say this, when the violence erupted on the 3rd of May 2023, that time the central government should have imposed the president's rule. Otherwise, 250 plus lives have been lost. 3 ethnic communities, one baying at the blood of each other in Manipur, is a very worrying sign for a border state of India. And I hope that the central government will take coercive steps to get the communities live together once again.
It's very, very essential, as you very rightly point out, Kamru Chaudhary. It's a very sensitive border state, and you cannot have ethnic communities having a go at each other in the manner in which they have been. Jen Kulkarni, you hinted at the role of foreign interference. Now, many argue that's a convenient excuse, it's a bogey, or is there evidence to indicate that there are foreign forces at play here?
Gaurav, there is no denying the fact that there are foreign sources and foreign hands behind all of it. You've seen what's happened in Bangladesh. So we do not extend it too far. But yes, irrespective of whatever has happened over there, there are roles being played. Narco-terrorism is one. You find the Christian role is yet another which is playing over there. Irrespective of the kind of, despite whatever it might be, I wouldn't say that all the communities, there are equal measure of love amongst each other, but they can coexist, and that is very important. They have coexisted for the last 2 centuries. They will continue to coexist. Only thing is they were to sit together and now discuss. And I think at this point of time, when the elections are in 2027, normal elections would be in 2027. So we have a time. And even if there's governor's rule now, let us see, because it's not easy. Northeast is not easy, especially with what's happening in Myanmar, what's happening in Bangladesh. All of these things play a big, huge role in Northeast. And at this point of time, that is why again and again I insist, territorial integrity of Manipur is must. There is no question of either autonomy or administrative districts to given to any of these tribes. All of them have to stay together. Manipur is one. First. Second, narco-terrorism, we have to come very heavily on it. There is no denying the fact. A lot of people will say there is no narco-terrorism. There's nothing like narco-terrorism. It's all a bogey. It isn't so. It is very much there. Even the FMR coming people from Myanmar into this thing, from the Chin district coming into Manipur. All of this has to be controlled. Mizoram, people going there and ensure. So there are a lot of different I would say tribes, roles being played by various agencies.
I want to bring in Kamru Chaudhary once again into this conversation, and especially on that important aspect that you've raised about one, narco-terrorism, two, the role of forces within Myanmar or external forces, and you've also indicated, General, the role of, as some may argue, foreign missionaries, church, in pushing in Chin community members, weapons coming in from across. Kamru Chaudhary, are these aspects that must also be taken into consideration? Again, at the same time, whether it's the state government or the central government, their role has been found wanting here.
Well, Gaurav, you must understand that in Nagaland, Manipur, or in parts of Assam, around 30 to 35 underground groups are operating.
Yes.
And all of them have been supplied with arms and ammunition from across the border, either be it in Myanmar or be it Bangladesh.
Manipur at one point of time, when I was reporting there, mid-2000s, had something like 65 terrorist organizations and their splinter groups that were operating on ground, especially in Churachandpur and Chandel and that entire belt.
Yes,
Go
absolutely.
on,
But one thing I differ from the General Saab out here is that the ethnic violence in Manipur has nothing to do with religion as such. Because you see, the Meiteis are predominantly Hindus. They have got a definite ethnic identity. The Kukis are a Christian lot.
Yes.
They have migrated from, earlier migrated from Mizoram or Myanmar parts. They are called the Hamar tribals out there. Then you have got the Nagas, who are predominantly Christians. So if there was an ethnic division, the ethnic violence on the basis of religion, then why are the Nagas at peace with the Manipuris? The Nagas had a fight with the Kukis in 1993. That was also another bloodshed happening that time. But then now this is entirely different to gain a control of the Moreh corridor. The smuggling route that is there from the Burma Moreh connecting.
The Tamu-Moreh link.
Yes. So you must understand that it has got to do a lot with narco, smuggling or foreign goods smuggling in through the Moreh border into India. It's a very lucrative business out there.
Yes.
Plus, Indian government has got an agreement with the Myanmar government for a free trade. I think, I'm not absolutely sure, but a free trade with the Myanmar through the Moreh border. You can go into Myanmar, come back in the evening, something like that. But then we need to get into the fact out here, the politically that is there, that my simple question is that we know what's happening in Manipur. We don't have a solution. But do we have a solution in Kashmir earlier, when in the 90s, when the terrorism erupted? No, we did not have. But we went in for a solution of president's rule, in and off. Elected governments came in, we got into, but somehow the peace has returned in Kashmir. So why not try the formula out there? 2 years was a long time for ethnic divides to widen a lot. And for that, the BJP government is absolutely responsible for that ethnic divides. They never tried to coincide.
General, quickly respond to the point that for 2 years, despite the Union Home Minister going and camping in Manipur initially, despite repeated messages coming out, you have the Assam Rifles, you have forces that are deployed, you had a lot of intelligence inputs that were coming in. Ajay Kumar Bhalla has only been sent now as the governor. N. Biren Singh was seen as someone who was partisan and not reaching out to the Kukis in the manner in which he should have. Are these some issues that the country has to grapple with, and the situation already, that neglected spark has burnt the house?
Gaurav, if you ask me, all said and done, obviously the priorities are, the displaced people have to be settled. That's number one. Secondly, all the weapons that have been looted must come back. That's very, very important. The borders must be sealed so that at least for timing certain things. Irrespective, these 2 years have not been wasteful. I somehow seem to feel that the central government had a buffer. Now the central government is directly involved. And if we were not to find a solution in the next year or year and a half, even if we were to have governor's rule for the next 2 years, let's say governor's rule for the next 2 years, and if we were not to find a solution, then people will say, well, you just saw what happened. So Biren was a buffer. And this buffer, I think the central government has understood the entire problem. They've seen what's happened in Bangladesh. They know what's happening. They know the Western influence, which might just be there for whatever the reason it might be. The narco-terrorism has to be taken care of. And all the people now have to be taken along. Probably this is one right time with Mr. Bhalla over there that we may be able to get all the people on the table together, and that no confidence motion, yes, that triggered the entire thing. But well, leaving aside the political part of it, very important in Manipur is to bring peace at this point of time. And I think
absolutely. This is a national security issue, should have been dealt much faster. And Deshratan Nigam joins us on this broadcast analyzing the situation on ground. Deshratan Nigam, the Congress party says this is a last-minute desperate face saver ahead of no confidence in the state assembly. The resignation should have happened after the violence started in mid-2023, sir.
I think Congress should not politicize it because it's as you rightly said, it's a issue of national security and has to be dealt accordingly. And Congress should also be on board instead of, playing a blame game in this kind of an ethnic conflict that we have had there. And it's been going on for quite some time. Despite the best efforts of the chief minister, things were going out of control. Hence, I think the center has intervened, and even earlier also center had taken law and order in its own hand by directly intervening there. So this is the time where everybody, whether these are Cookies, Maithis, and everybody, along with the confidence building measures, those who have committed crimes have to be punished very severely. And the borders areas need to be plugged, and also the arms and ammunitions coming from across the border, whether it is from China or from other places, they need to be plugged, and very seriously, because unless and until you punish, both carrot and stick policy has to be has to be
2 years was long enough. 2 years was long enough for the carrot and stick policy. Did the center continue to vacillate on a very, very critical national security issue? They thought they will be able to control it, or the chief minister may be able to control it clearly. They've now realized that wasn't happening. But we'll be tracking the story very closely. To all my guests, many thanks for joining me. A sensitive border state, can it be brought back from the brink?